Omdahl Show. This is episode 990, and we're here live in Southwest Florida at the beach. It's sunset, and if you would like to join me in watching the sunset, welcome. If you would like to say hi, that would be great. If you have questions for me, please feel welcome to ask. If you want to share what you've been working on, I know we'd all love to hear about it. Hope you had a nice weekend. Welcome back to the Kristin Omdahl Show. This is episode 990, and we're here live in Southwest Florida at the beach for a beautiful sunset. Ooh, we've got birds coming up close to me. Okay, hi birdies. I thought it was a person brushing up on me. I was a little startled for a second. Anyway, you want to say hello? Please say hello. I'm having a little trouble seeing the camera. Unfortunately, when the sunset's really bright, it reflects on my screen a whole lot. Hi, Judy. Good evening. Hi, Tina. Hi, Judy. Yeah, better than snakes, for sure. Hi, Terry. Isn't this lovely? Such a pretty sunset. It's a little chilly. It's about 60 degrees and damp and windy. And only going to get cooler as the sun goes down. We have a low of 41 tonight. Brr. Hi, Melanie and Patricia. Good evening. Welcome back to the Kristin Omdahl Show. Tonight is episode 990, which means we have 10 episodes to go before the 1000th episode. How exciting is that? We definitely have, after tonight, there's 10 episodes to go, so definitely time for a countdown. So exciting. If you would like another gentle reminder, there are a few more days still to share your story. If you would like to share what the show has meant to you in the last, what has it been, 4 years, 1,000 episodes, or if you would like to share how you view the show or anything, if you want to share anything about what it's meant to be in your life, please feel welcome to do so. The cutoff will be at the end of this week, which will give me a week to compile everybody's stories, and then on the 1000th episode, February 7th, I will be reading everybody's stories out loud on the air. And I've got other surprises up my sleeves too, so you'll definitely want to join me for that. I have scheduled every episode from now until the 1000th episode as well, so that you do have an opportunity to set a reminder if you want. Hi, Joe and Chris, Norma and Judy. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Carrie and Lucy. Yes, I am cozy in my Simone poncho and cowl tonight. This is in Be So Easy yarn, my number 5 bulky weight yarn. Super cozy in color raspberry. It's 60 degrees here right now, but windy and damp, and with the sun going down, the temperature's going down quickly, and it's going down to 41 tonight. So as the sun sets, it's going to get pretty chilly here. I am ready to turn the heat on when I get in the car, that's for sure. If you have any questions for me, please let me know. I brought some yarn. I'm working on a project tonight, and did I bring a couple other things in here too? Yeah. I have been working on the tutorial video for the Georgina Cape today. It's really great. You're going to get so much out of this tutorial because, number one, I show you the compare and contrast between the front and back of the cape, which is really interesting, and show you a couple of stitches that you may not be super familiar with. There is a foundation double crochet in this pattern, and there is a triple treble crochet in this pattern. If you've never done a triple treble before, that's where you yarn over 4 times before starting your stitch. I show you how to do both of those stitches, and then we also go over how to read the chart as well. So if you need a refresher on chart reading, or a refresher on foundation double crochet, or even triple treble, whether you want to make the Georgina Cape or not, all of those items are going to be really beneficial to you for just watching it now. Let's see, I'm trying to catch up. I'm not sure what I missed here. Hi, Marcia. Hi, Anna. Thank you for sharing the link to the pattern, Judy. Okay, I think I caught up. I think I did. Such a pretty sunset, my goodness. It is chilly though, but that's okay. I'll survive. Carrie's working on the Georgina right now. Wonderful. As Carrie will probably testify, it's a very simple pattern, and the increases are easy to memorize and understand as you go. But like I said, if foundation double crochet is a little foreign to you, or maybe the triple treble, you will definitely enjoy watching the tutorial video. It is almost done. I should be releasing it probably right after the show tomorrow. Probably after episode 9. Episode 991 will be at 9 a.m. tomorrow. I'll probably release the tutorial video probably in the 10-11 o'clock hour tomorrow. And what else? What else? Oh, and I'll be going over the chart in the video too. I knew there was something else I wanted to say about it. So whether you need the supplemental help for the pattern or not, even if you do not have interest in making the Georgina Cape, I think that there are still some super valuable things that you could learn from the tutorial video as well. That's what I was going to say. Let's see. Does anybody have any questions? Like I said, on the 1000th episode, I am going to have some surprises. So in addition to sharing everybody's stories, which I'm going to warn you right now, you're probably going to want to have Kleenex close by. I know I'm going to bring some tissue of some kind with me. Hi, Donna. Hi, Donna. And I will have a bunch of surprises to share with you too. So there's going to be a lot of exciting things going on that day. Yes, the Georgina Cape is made with Be So Vivid yarn. Yes. The sample in my sample is made in color Unicorn Kiss, but you could make it in any of the colors, and it's a 4-ball project with Be So Vivid yarn. With I used a size 10.5 or 6.5 millimeter crochet hook. Great question, and not only is that information really really easy to find on the pattern page, but it will also be explained in the tutorial video as well. Who else has questions? Let's answer some more questions. Oh, I did release a new blog post today. For those of you that enjoy reading my personal stories regarding domestic violence and sexual assault and different things like that, I did release a new blog post this morning talking about date rape drugs. And so whether this is something that interests you or you think it is a subject that you could share some information with people that you know, I shared not only some personal stories that were kind of difficult to share because it really sharing scary stories from my life is definitely definitely harder than sharing fun stories, right? And so when you share the dark side of vulnerability, it opens you up to so much more exposure and judgment and all that good stuff. But the whole reason why I do it is so that I can help one other person. If I can help one other person with my stories, then it's worth it. And so in this particular blog post, I talked about my experiences with date rape drugs, and also explaining, and I excerpted some really wonderful information from another article on WebMD about date rape drugs, what they are, what they can be called, what they can look like, the side effects of them, so so that you can be aware of different things about them. And then on top of that, I shared my stories, like, you know, date rape we often hear is about, you know, somebody that you know. My experiences with being being drugged with date rape drugs were with complete strangers, and so I really wanted to open up everybody's awareness that it's not always just date rape. Uh, Risks involved with these drugs, sometimes it can be strangers, and it can be for different reasons besides just for sexual assault. It could be for kidnapping or robbery or all sorts of other things. So there were a lot of reasons why I felt like it was important to share. And the inspiration came really quickly, actually, because I was going through old photos last week to pull out some photos to show Marlon of when he was little. And I came across a photo of me when I visited Egypt while I was living in Israel. And at first I pulled out the photo. I was like, oh my gosh, the dress I'm wearing in the photo is one of my favorite dresses I ever owned. And it's a beautiful silk handkerchief dress with a handkerchief hem that's in the most beautiful print of rainbow and jewel tone colors. And when I found the photo, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful, and I'm so glad I could see the photo again. And I was getting ready to share it, and I thought to myself, and I started remembering my experience, that where that photo was taken. Like, I'm really smiley and happy in the photo, but that photo was taken mere minutes before having something potentially scary happen. And so it's like, once I thought of that, then I started thinking about other times that I've had date rape drug experiences. And so it kind of just snowballed into a topic, and a topic that I thought was really important. And, you know, having Marlon 19 and having Jess in my life now, this sweet, beautiful girl who's 19 years old, it's reminding me even more in my face of how important it is to share these stories with other people, because I have a lot of experience with these things, and if I don't share them, I can't help other people. And the last thing I want to do is sweep things under the rug like I was taught to do when I was growing up. And so it's so important to me to put things out in the open, because it doesn't matter how nervous or uncomfortable I am sharing my stories, I know there is going to be at least one person that is helped by it. So whether I can help one of you personally, or maybe you'll read my stories and say, you know what, I know someone that needs to read this, and you'll share it with somebody else. One way or another, through word of mouth, we get the information out there to the right people. And the way it starts is by sharing our stories and forgetting about that fear of vulnerability and just getting it out there. So, just wanted to explain that. If that interests you, great. If it's there. If it doesn't interest you, you don't have to read it. It's perfectly fine. No problem whatsoever. But just a quick reminder that whether it's something that interests you or not, you don't, if it triggers you or upsets you to read the stories, you don't have to, and you're still helping, because anytime you support my brand through purchasing patterns or yarns or any other, or my books or anything else, a portion of every sale, it helps survivors of domestic violence through my charity, Project Kristin Cares, and you can learn about that on my website as well. So I like to mention when there's a new blog post out, but again, it's totally optional whether you want to read them or not. You're welcome, Barbara. Hi, Marla. Yes, Judy, sharing the good, bad, and the ugly is the only way to share the true realness of life. You know, I'm not one to try to pretend to be something perfect, you know, on social media. I think it's really important to share the good, bad, and the ugly of everything. Where's the sun? You know, the sunset's getting later in the day now, so I don't think the sunset's going to be until like 6 p.m. now, but we'll still do our 30-minute show, because it's still so pretty regardless of whether we actually see the sun dip into the water. And it's going to get so cold. Yes, exactly, Lori. And even in part of my story that I shared 3 experiences with date rape drugs. Like, so I start the blog post talking about date rape drugs and how it's never your fault. And then I share, like I said, an excerpt of the different information about the actual drugs. But then I share 3 of my own stories. And in my 3rd story that I share about my experience with date rape drugs, I do mention victim shaming and the fact that I did not go to the authorities on the 3rd one because I had been victim shamed in the past and because I was afraid of being victim shamed once again. And am I proud of that? Absolutely not. I am not proud of the fact that I was more afraid of being victim shamed than I was to go to the authorities. But I'm being honest with you, and I was raised in a household where you swept things under the rug. And so until I've learned to break that habit, I do like mentioning that to people because I'm sure there are other people that would like to break their habits of that as well. Does anybody have any questions about that or anything else? We can change the subject as well. Yes, especially with strangers popping things into your drink, you definitely have to be on guard all the time. Absolutely. Yes, the waves are amazing. Oh, it's okay. Thanks, Norma. You know, everything that happens in our lives brings us to who we are, where we are right now. It's fine. If I didn't have everything happen to me just the way it happened, I wouldn't have Marlon, I wouldn't have Bjorn and Becker. You know, I always try to think about that. Yes, we do have a very supportive community here, and that's one of the reasons why I feel comfortable sharing my stories. And that's which also then in turn gives me the opportunity to make other people realize that they're not alone too. So I mean, it's definitely a win-win when you have a safe and loving community. So if you don't want to go read it right now and miss the show, don't feel like you have to click that live link right now. All of the links that Judy shares in the live chat will also be updated in the show notes in the video description when the show's over. So anytime that you want links to what I'm actually talking about on the show, if you want to stay at the show, you can always go back and see the links later too. Let's see. Ah, that's wonderful, Emmy. I'm glad that you felt protected. You know, each story is totally different. You know, each story is totally different. Each situation is different, and everywhere that we live, we have different laws, and how they can be proven are different everywhere as well. Like, it's complicated. Does anybody have any other questions? I'm going to turn the camera around here in a minute too so you can see more of the sunset and more of the entire beach surroundings. As you can see, the water's totally different tonight than it was last week. Remember when we saw those sandbars? Was that Friday maybe? I think maybe on Friday I walked out to those sandbars. That was fun. Totally different here tonight. And no, I wouldn't even dream of getting my feet wet tonight. I'm cold. What am I working on? Barbara and Judy have asked, and I have intentionally not shown you what I'm working on right now. This is a surprise project, and I'm not going to show you like for real what I'm working on. I'll show you little glimpses, but it's something that I'm hoping to finish by the 1000th episode. No pressure. And so I'm working on something that I would like to wear on the 1000th episode, which means I will be lucky if I finish the sample. I will most likely not have the pattern ready by then, but it will be ready shortly thereafter. So here, sneak peek. This is Be So Luxe yarn. I'm using Be So Luxe yarn right now. And a 4mm crochet hook, but hopefully, no, I'm not going to hold up the piece that I'm working on because it's a surprise. How's that? Have I ever done that before? Like, very rarely do I not share, like, details, even when something's a sneak peek. But I think the very most I'm going to say is that I'm working on something that I'd really like to finish in time for the 1000th episode. You know, nothing like putting a little extra pressure on myself. And yeah, it's a whole different level of tease tonight too, right, Judy? Normally I'm teasing just in the fact that the pattern may or may not be ready yet, the yarn may not or may not be ready yet, but tonight I'm like, nope, that's it. There's the sneak peek. Ah, that's wonderful. Kathy, it sounds like you've learned a lot over the last few months crocheting. I'm so happy for you. That is so empowering. Once you learn how to read patterns and charts, it opens up so many different types of patterns for you. That's wonderful. Wonderful. I'm very happy for you. I love hearing stories like that. I hear them often in the videos, people telling me that they've learned so much, and I hear it in comments here sometimes too, and I'm so glad, because it's one thing to just be able to follow someone in a video, but to actually learn how to read patterns and read charts in addition to videos, it opens up the entire world of knitting and crochet, because, you know, not every pattern has a full step-by-step tutorial. Not every pattern has charts. Not every pattern has written instructions. And so for whatever pattern that you may like in a magazine, a book, a YouTube channel, or on a website, it may not have all three of those. So the more you can learn all three different aspects of patterns, and that's why I teach it in that way. Well, I teach it that way for a couple of reasons. First of all, the more ways you can learn something, see something, the more likely you are to grasp and understand it. Also, everybody learns in different ways, so having the different ways helps different people grasp in different ways. But the more frequently you see written, chart, and video combined, the more likely you are to learn all three. So that when you go to want to see something else, let's whatever, name a website, name a book, name a pattern, a magazine, doesn't matter, wherever you see something else, because one of the reasons why I teach in all the formats is so that when you find something else you want to do, not just my stuff, that you have you have more tools in your toolbox. That's what I'm trying to say. And it's chilly out here. I feel like my teeth are going to start chattering. Thank you, Emmy. Thank you. I'm so glad. Make sure that you're signed into your account when you download the patterns, and then you'll have access to them 24/7 with unlimited downloads in your own personal download library, which is such an awesome feature on my website. I'm going to try finishing. Thank you. Hi, Irma. Hi, Jacqueline. Thank you. I am wearing the Simone poncho. It's a crochet pattern on my website with charts, written instructions, and there's video tutorial for it as well. In there you'll learn how to make the poncho and the separate cowl that is not attached, so that you have options of wearing it with and without. As soon as I finish this round that I'm working on right now, I'll set it down so I can show you some of the really cool features about the poncho that I'm wearing, including cuffs, which I'm so glad I have the cuffs tonight. They're keeping me a little warmer out here. One of the nice things about cuffs is that not only do they keep, let's see, where am I? All right, I got distracted, so I'm gonna have to set it down. I lost my place, so I'll set it down. That's the hard, I'm trying to crochet with a stitch pattern and talk. It gets hard sometimes. Okay, so one of the extra benefits of having the cuffs on here is, number one, the cuffs keep the poncho placed well so it doesn't slip off your shoulders and stuff. But it also locks in some of the heat too. So anytime you have a cuff on something, instead of the wind just going straight through, it helps insulate a little bit, so I think it's a little more cozy. And like I mentioned, the cowl I intentionally did not attach to the poncho so that you had the option of wearing it with or without. So it starts here with the foundation ovals, which means you could just pick up and work them into the foundation ovals if you'd rather, but then it increases so that you can easily wear it folded over. No, this is a poncho. I will stand up so you can see. Okay, so you notice how I didn't even have to try to readjust it on my shoulders? I didn't have to do that because the cuffs really help me to keep the poncho centered on my shoulders. In other ponchos that I've made over the years, they don't always stay on your shoulders really evenly like that. So the cuffs really help a lot. I also have instructions and show you how to make this belt so that you could actually belt it as well, which gives you another really different looking. Yes, you can wear the cowl as a hoodie too, and I have lots of photos of all these different ways to wear this on my website. When you go to the pattern page, you can see all of these photos, and I think I share all of the photos on the video tutorial too, so you can see all sorts of styling options there. So I just kind of eyeballed it. It would be better to do that, you know, in front of a mirror or something. But can you see how flattering that is when you belt it then too? So it gives you a little bit of a waistline, and that contrast between the wide sleeves and the narrower waist, that it just gives you a totally different look and a little more put together, I think. A little more structure, but optional. Both ways are super beautiful. There's lots of photos of all these different ways on the website, and I have shown this before, but I'm happy to do it again. So that's one of the reasons why I started the cowl with the ovals and then increased gently so that it got wider, and that's so that it can go over your head. So it ends up being something that can be a cowl, it can be a hood, or it can be removed altogether as well. So lots of options there. So between the the poncho, the belt, so you have the two ways of wearing it. You can add the cuffs if you want. You could leave the cuffs off if you want. You could add the cowl. You can either attach the cowl or keep it detached, because one of the other reasons it's nice to have it detached is that if you didn't want to wear the poncho, you could still wear the cowl too. I hope you don't mind though. I'm not going to take off the poncho to show you the cowl by itself right now. I've done it other times before, and I'm just too cold to take off right now. But you could definitely wear the cowl by itself this way too. Which, gosh, there's just so many options. Cowl, hood, poncho belted, poncho not belted. Then combined cowl, hooded poncho, cowl, cowl with belted poncho, cowl without belted poncho, hood with poncho, hood with belted poncho, or hood by itself, or cowl by itself, or poncho by itself, or poncho with the belt. So I mean, what is that, like 6 or 8 options? Even from something like this, you still have all those options. Oh, and let us not forget Jess's and maybe my favorite way to wear it, and that's as a snuggie. This is so comfy to sit on the couch and you're wearing your blanket then too. So it's very stylish and beautiful to wear out of the house, but you can absolutely be super cozy wearing it around the house too. Does anybody have any other questions? If not, I am going to turn the camera around so you can see how pretty it is here. There's the beach to the north of us, and our big beautiful sunset. Here's the beach to the south of us, and then there's my view. Thank you. I love it. I love it. Oh, such a pretty sunset too. All right. Okay, then one other thing, I brought one of my Create, Share, Inspire notebooks with me tonight. I thought it might be fun to read one of the quotes in here. We haven't done that in a while. So if those of you that don't know what this is, the Create, Share, Inspire notebooks are creative journals that I made, and you can buy on Amazon all over the world, or you can buy them on my website as well. There are 7 issues. Each one has a photo of one of my local beaches, and opposite each day that you would write your thoughts down on the page, there is an inspirational quote. It's something that I've been using and doing for a very long time myself, and so I'm sharing my practice with everyone else by creating these journals. Okay, the first quote in volume 1 is from Theodore Roosevelt. Do what you can with what you have where you are. I love this quote because it talks about focusing on the present, right now, no excuses, not what's going to happen later, not what you can or can't do because of the past. Okay, what can we do right now with what we have? And it's just a great reminder to focus on the present and to let go of your excuses and let go of your obstacles and just do what you can with what you have right now. And I love that. I find it to be so empowering. Woo, it's chilly as the sun's going down. It's getting chillier. I hope you enjoyed that. There are 31 quotes in each of the books, and each quote is opposite, all quotes that I've curated because they mean something to me, and each one is opposite a page that you can write on. You can find more information about those on Amazon or on my website. Really lovely. Does anybody have any other questions? What a pretty sunset. Yeah, there are, I am waiting on a shipment of books right now. It's possible this one sold out. I don't know, I'd have to double check. I do believe most of them are in stock, but I don't have access to inventory when I'm at the beach. I wish I did. All right, I don't see any other questions, so thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes here with me. I hope you enjoyed the sunset, show and tell, chatting with me and everyone else here. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. Have a wonderful evening, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next episode of the Kristin Omdahl Show. Bye. Good night, everybody.